Right, week 2 of the off season. So started off on the Monday with some paused front squats. This is my first single, was down for 2. This is my second single, 110 for 1. We talked about straps and that situation. I ended up doing 3 count pauses on my back down back squats. It was only 100 kilos, so I figured to try and make it a bit more difficult. So these are all 3 count pauses and just trying to work my position. I didn't keep my head up for whatever reason, and it felt okay. I think in the future though I will try and keep my eye line a bit higher. But positioning felt pretty good. It was just all about trying to sit down and stand back up again. There's a few more of these. Moving forwards, if I could not have any more front squats, that would be brilliant. But we've talked about that. But I'm happy to try with the SSB backwards. I think that might be a bit different in terms of making it a bit easier to do the wrap position, but still equally as difficult to maintain sort of tension and bracing. Alright, just let this run on for a bit. This day was easier than last week, and I think that was probably because my variation last week was a bit harder in terms of the max effort stuff, because front squat was really light. I can bench this weight. Didn't find it as difficult. I tried to make the 3 count pause deadlifts, which we'll see in a minute, really hard. I think I was due to do this with like 65%, but I ended up only using about, I think it was like 53 or something low. So here are the 3-second pause deadlifts. He said 3-second pause on the note, so I really tried to make it really obvious in terms of hovering the weight and doing it nice and slow. I found them really difficult, and I found them really difficult for my hamstrings to sort of maintain that bottom position. But they went well, I think. I think I got some good positioning out of it, and I think moving forwards I'll be in a good position to sort of hit a big deadlift soon. In terms of next week, we've got max effort 2 mat deadlift, so I need some sort of change for that because I don't have mats available. I might be able to do like a 2-inch deficit deadlift, and I could do a max 3 for that. That's an idea. Or I could pull off the lowest pin on the rack and stand on plates and stuff to make it a bit lower. But yeah, just let me know what you want me to do. I'll span through the other 2 sets of 5 for pause deadlifts a bit quicker, but you can still see I'm pausing it, and I was quite happy with the execution. The last set was really difficult though, and it did really take quite a lot out of me, and just got the accessories done. It was fine. Next day was max effort upper body, so it was close grip to a top double. So this is 90. This is like a last warm up. I never know where I'm going to get to on close grip. It's quite hard to gauge. So these were paused okay, and sort of went from there. Went up to 100 times 2. 100 used to be my best 1 close grip, so that's a bit of progress. I last tested that I think in the summer, so added another rep to that. I then got a bit cocky and decided I could have a go at 105, just as I figured I could grind through it. The first rep went alright, it was a good grinder, and then I stupidly went for the second one and I just missed it on strength, so I get to that sort of awkward angle with the elbows and really start to struggle. So yeah, here we go. So he just gets to there and then just have no gas to push through. Suspended bench, we talked about that a little bit. It went really well. It was a better setup, a bit tighter, easy to get through. And yeah, my top position definitely is getting a lot easier to hold. Dynamic effort lower, which was it was the day after max effort up after. I had to cram all my training in. So these sets, like last week, they got quicker as I went along. The first set I'm really narrow. And I sort of noticed that and picked up on it and tried to move forwards from there. And as the sort of second set, third set, fourth set, fifth set, it got faster and, if anything, a little bit wider in my stance. So this stance is a little bit wider, easier to get down to depth. But the speed isn't brilliant. I wasn't feeling as poppy that day, but I think maybe it's just because of the extra day. Maybe it's because I wasn't trying as hard. I'm just getting a bit more aggressive here. So I think I need to put on some bit more louder music and then go from there. Fourth set was even better, a bit more of a robot, and then it's just sort of controlling it at the top. I've left the music on this last one. So this is the 5th set. I think this was my best set again. I think I get quicker as they go on. Whether that'll be maintained when I start doing higher rep sets, higher set rep schemes, if that makes sense. Speed deadlifts, we're still at using my 250 Equip Max as my raw max at the moment, because why not? This was 175 for 8 sets of 1. I showed them in I think I did set 1, set 3, set 5 or 6 and set 8, and I was quite happy with the speed on these. They didn't feel quick, but looking back they were alright. I was quite happy with them. Moving on to speed bench, so it's the usual speed bench, so it's 5 5 3 sets. They didn't feel quick at all, but looking back, the speed was okay, so I wasn't too worried. I just wasn't feeling as recovered. And I think having that extra day of rest on Thursdays is really beneficial for me because it gives me time to calm down. Because this is only done 48 hours after my max effort bench, so it wasn't feeling as snappy. I got through all the reps though, so I think next week we'll go on as planned, and hopefully with the extra rest, I'll be in a better position moving forward. Nothing else to really report. Really, I felt I felt a bit more locked in my form. I don't know whether it's because I was slowing down the descent a bit more to enable me to be in a better position. My form felt really good. It was just sort of going through the motions and trying to press them as quickly as possible. Yeah, the close grip one was much better on my top set this week. I felt with really good power. The mid one wasn't as good, and then the wide one was better again. But yeah, looking forward to next week. Excited to see what we can do moving forwards.